Pull there.
A lot of people would call me a she. They'd assign me that gender because the majority of sailors are men who are uneasy with something they can't control. And they definitely can't control me. I'm not a she or a he. I'm a boat, a vessel from which mankind can traverse. I'm a place to call home, a champion. I'm a goddamn Schock 40. I'm a gamble. I'm in charge whether you want me to be or not. I don't ever guarantee a fun time. I guarantee an experience. Yeah. You want an experience? Take the gamble.
So the Schock 40 was the first twin foil canting ballast production racing boat ever built.
I have looked to the star, did see the Schock 40, yeah, I know the Schock 40 well. Obviously, you know, the Schock 40 is a pretty famous boat around the world.
I know what you're all thinking. If you're so famous, why haven't I heard of you? Well, that's because I'm what some scared humans might call dangerous. They say I have miscalculations in my design, whatever that means. I don't waste time with long words. Now it's true. Those who built me put what I like to call little tests into my design. Right when you think everything is safe, bam! You're in the water. Things fall off of me from time to time, like sailors.
I have told my parents that I am going on a Schock 40. They do not particularly understand what that means in the sailing world. I told them about the Rantan vessel that was coming across from New Zealand and the canting keel fell off, and they're like, "Can that happen to you?" And I was like, "Oh no, I was just totally safe."
There were some keel failures. There were some construction issues, cracks that would develop in the leading edge of the weld, and the keels would fall off.
But as the great philosopher Rocky Balboa once said, it's not how hard you fall, but whether you get back up again. And yes, some people have never gotten back up from similar boats as me, and they have died. Another test is always waiting.
So I find the Schock 40 to it's a bit twitchy. It's twitchy, and that you move the rudder just a little bit, and all of a sudden the bow is going one way or it's going the opposite way, and erratic. I find it to be a little bit erratic. When you're out in the middle of the ocean, I mean, anything can happen.
This crew that is assembled to handle me is quite a collection. I wouldn't have picked them, but I didn't get a say because I'm a boat, and boats can't talk. Jason, the captain, the one everyone cheers or blames. Tim, the one with an accent, because accents always sound better on boats.
There's a lot of pent-up nervousness and what have you in those first 24 hours. I'm on this boat for the rest of this trip. You can't get off. And it's those feelings and those emotions, and I'm looking to push myself to a new level.
Logan, the pretty boy, the navigator, the one who has something to prove. Joey, the beard.
What's your name?
My name's Rod Nichols.
Rod. How long have you been sailing for?
Back up a little bit. I'm going to say something else. You ready?
Yeah.
Go ahead and start again.
What's your name?
My name's Rod Nichols, but on the boat they call me Rod Job.
Rod Job, the legend of the sea. The one no one expects to come back, but always does.
Fucking scary.
What is?
The 100-footers starting next to 40-footers.
They had me lined up all wrong to start this race, but I'm a professional. I'm the goddamn Schock 40, and I'm not gonna let something like positioning throw me off. Now, I realize you're probably thinking that positioning is a huge deal, and you would be right, but you're not narrating this, are you?
You hear that, Joey? A minute.
You can see my old nemesis, Boat 66, and that asshole Buenos Aires trying to slip right past me before the countdown was over. They've always been cheats, and now the world knows it.
The race is broken into 3 segments. There's the race from the shore to the wind.
The open sea, just where I belong. Legends can breathe.
Definitely morale factor of watching the fleet sailing away from us, being that we were starting on the final day.
Speed is a different issue. Light air, and then we got shadowed as the big boats powered over us, but we're on the high side of the course now. The wind is supposed to be here first.
I think that was definitely frustrating overall. Like first 5 days, we're sitting there just looking at being in dead last place. That was really difficult.
Something's wrong with the sheets up forward.
Jason and Tim were quick to blame other things on a bad start, and that's the sign of true leadership. It's never your fault. I can definitely tell you it wasn't my fault. No one asked this old champion if I wanted to race to begin with, but I shook off the barnacles and gave it a go.
The second leg is Catalina to the beginning of the finish.
Eventually, Logan got overruled as the navigator, and we started to make some really bad, horrible decisions on the direction the boat was going to go.
Logan's great. Logan kind of been trying to help him. He knows a lot more than I do on some things, and I know a lot more than he does on others because I haven't stayed up with it since I switched to law.
I'm okay.
It's not gonna be. It's not gonna be a great change.
How
but
far till we get to the steady grade? About another 20 miles. See, the components we need from you are hold this for X amount of miles or time.
hold this for 200 miles. Hold this for 200 miles.
You're fucking kidding me.
Okay, Jason's too much. Sometimes he just gets really you're not sailing as well as I would right now. What's going on right now? Like and I'm like, just let people figure the boat out. Like he's riding rod really hard and he just starts losing his shit.
This is by far my #1 bucket list item in my life, and it has been since I was about 12 years old. And I've taken vacation time. I haven't enjoyed that vacation time yet.
All relationships are complicated, I guess. That's kind of been a theme in my life, is with my OCD and Asperger's, I jump on something and I want to do it and I have to finish. I don't know how to turn it off once it starts.
As the race went on, it felt to me that it was more and more my task to be the bonding agent between Jason and the rest of the team.
My goal is to finish this race, right? Prove that the Schock 40 can do this race. And in doing so, in just finishing, you have the opportunity to do well.
The ocean can play tricks on people, and if you're just thinking about yourself, you'll never make it. We continued down the course, and I was feeling good about the ground I made up, despite the lack of vision from within my corridors. We were on a path. But the one thing I won't ever tolerate are egos bigger than my own. And it was time to teach this dysfunctional bunch how to come together, and quickly.
We had a pretty good round down Chinese jibe in the middle of the night, like the worst place possible, like 1,000 miles from land in any direction.
Not understanding what happened, all of a sudden the boat's on its side, 90 degrees, we're all yelling.
And the deck is vertical at this point, and I'm climbing it like a rock wall.
There's nobody who's on deck, who's awake, who knows where the halyard is.
The fear element definitely entered my mind at that point.
Would this be it? Would this be the end of Rod Jobs' legend? Of Joey's beard? I never intended to make it easy. We all must make tough decisions. Mine was to teach a lesson. I believe it was learned. The crew had finally learned the lesson I wanted them to. It wasn't about winning or losing. It was about being a part of something that is greater than yourself. In this case, me. They were allowed to ride me. I gave them the reins when it was time and ripped them away when it was necessary. But at the end of it all, every man came home. Back to their lives, their wives, their girlfriends, boyfriends, who knows? What I know is that I promised that I would make it. And I did. The goddamn Schock 40 made it to the finish.
Toes cut!
Alright, you guys. Alright! Lola, welcome to Hawaii.
Between Logan, God, the guy's a stud. Joey, the best frickin' sailor on the planet. Tim, he's an incredible leader. I don't know where I fit.
So, there's a couple of things about being dead fucking last. Not once, and Rod knows, and Tim knows, and Logan knows, and everybody on CAMBLE knows that not once did we stop believing for a single moment that we weren't going to finish. Period. Because it wasn't about winning. It wasn't about losing. It was about finishing the race.
Fucker stole my line.